So we're here now with Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz to look back at the year that was. So Mayor, talk about the year that was in Jasper for 2013.
Well, we certainly have had a lot of significant investments in the community from all aspects. We have gone through the process of growing some jobs in this area in some of our industrial and commercial sectors, and ultimately that is good for all of us. We've employed some more of the abatement programs on a smaller scale, but still jobs came back to Jasper rather than perhaps going to other parts of the country, or in some circumstances rather than being international. In that case, we also were able to kind of again sustain and grow that economy and really played a small role. I want to give credit where credit's due, and that's to our locally owned employers and those who have invested in their businesses here in Jasper. But we also know that we have a great sense of place, that Jasper has become really a shining star in not only in southern Indiana but around Indiana from what people tell us, and it's just recognizing some of the assets that we have and employing them. We've been very much a city that's benefited from benefactors, people who have brought from the private sector or public sector donating to a cause good things, and that we certainly want to acknowledge the German American Boulevard development near our depot, which became a community asset, but was essentially provided as a gift from German American, and I want to thank Mark Schrader and his staff for that. The official purchase by our redevelopment commission of the country club property, using money that would be paid back by the sale of other property that we have. It's kind of a win-win situation for us in the planning on that, and continued use in looking at that property being open, continued and really of starting and working on having a perpetual park endowment, so we have a place that can run through the Du Bois County Community Foundation for people to leave money for long-term maintenance of our long-term ambitions in our park program, to park money for projects, or to even perhaps use endowment money for purchase of other small properties as it need be, rather than using tax dollars. Those are things that we want to establish in 2014. The Downtown and Riverfront Master Plan was kind of a wonderful stroke. We followed our 2010 comprehensive plan program, and we're called for that, and now we have that blueprint to work from and things that we have to scale. Not everything would be done exactly like that, perhaps. Not everything that we haven't even thought of might be done, but ultimately to actually have the city formally involved in the importance of this. What I say is, the Jasper is a gem of southern Indiana, and downtown Jasper is the setting for that gem to fit in right on that ring. So that's in place. What's other projects that are underway that will impact the city greatly is the review of and probably rewriting of a significant number of our zoning and subdivision control ordinances that will update them. Some of ours goes back as many as 40 years, or some of it 20 years, and as we progress we will now have a fresh document, and we'll have a lot of community input on that again too. We have engaged the community well. I have told this story before and I'll tell it again. We had 3 public meetings related to the downtown and or the country club, and we averaged 120 people at those. When I tell other mayors that we had 120 people at a public meeting, they say, "Mayor, what happened? What was wrong?" I go, "Nothing was wrong. It was all right." I mean, it was about wanting to engage the public. These are positive experiences, and that it just says a lot about the citizens of Jasper and the community. We acknowledge that we have some things that work and work very well here. That being said, no city, no community, no individual is perfect. So we know there are things we want to continue to work on, and I think you'll see us look at some processes this coming year. We want to look at code enforcement somewhat better, how it dovetails into, again, some zoning things. We certainly we'll go forward, and we can't wait to kind of see what may shape up in the country club area as far as at least getting that back open and be used. We're looking for a evaluation of our aquatics. We certainly have a 7-phase strategic stormwater initiative, which is some nuts and bolts of city government, but ultimately it's things that have to be done, and that will certainly impact the community. We hope so eventually in a positive way, but as you do that type of construction every year, it's going to be some streets closed or some right-of-way being used, yards dug up, and we hope people understand, and I think those that have stormwater issues will. Those that have to kind of put up with the nuisance factor of it will have to just realize that this is just part of the necessity. Our Third Avenue project, I will only ask that people be understanding this year as we're putting in that new water line that the street will be repaved. However, repaving will not and cannot occur during the winter season. So we will continue to have some rough spots. The road surface itself that's not being cut up for the pipe actually also has struggled. We knew that it was actually probably about a year beyond its repaving schedule. So it's going to take a brunt of a winter, and we're going to have some potholes. We'll do the best we can to fill it, but the public needs to understand that one thing had to happen first before the other one, and you do not want to pave something, then dig it up and put the pipe in. So this is the right way to do it, and just understand that. As I kind of look at next year, I want people to kind of prepare for something I think to be very significant for Jasper's future. In 2015, we'll have city elections again, and we know that we have a couple of council members that have indicated this is likely their last term, so this is going to be a possibility as things play out and formal announcements are made for potentially some new activities on our council. And that for people that never thought about running for office to have a chance to do so. And I just want to encourage people of whatever party they may be, male or female, of any age, but certainly we welcome kind of a younger generation too to look at and helping shape Jasper's future. That's going to be coming up, and you want to maybe start doing that. I want to invite you to come talk to me as mayor, and I can tell you someone who's never run for an office in his life until 2 years ago. I'll share what I know, and certainly we hope that we can engage some fresh approaches and to people who want to lead this city.
Certainly a lot to look forward to for 2014.
It's going to be a good year.
All right. Well, Mayor, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Moving along with our New Year's Eve edition of 18 News, we got Mayor Denny to talk about this past year in the city and what we got moving forward. So, Mayor, let's just reflect back on the year that was for Huntingburg in 2013.
Well, 2013 I think was a very great year for the city of Huntingburg. There were some major milestones we were able to accomplish, and as I thought back of this, when you asked me that question, the list grew pretty quickly. Of course, early in the year we were able to announce that the city of Huntingburg received funding from the state and cooperation from the county to begin work on a railroad overpass. I think this is a project that's going to have a long time lasting effect on our community. We're still in the very early phases of that, but that announcement this year was certainly something that was a real spirit lifter for our community. It's an issue that we've dealt with for a long time, and we see a solution coming in the very near future. Planning was a big part of what we said we wanted to approach as we came into office, and this year we had the council approve both our comprehensive plan, and we've had a lot of study of our downtown revitalization plan, which is coming up for approval in January. So those are two things that happened there. Community spirit-wise, community events, I can look at. We had a record-setting season with the Bombers at League Stadium. More and more people came to that, and that grew exponentially this year. And we had our first Hispanic Festival, which was a great success this fall. A good recognition of how our community is changing and growing. So those are some pretty important things. And from our communication standpoint, of course, we added our new website launch this year. We added some position. We added a communications director position to help guide that and guide the city in both communications and economic development. And we did some restructuring within our utility departments to make those departments much more efficient. So there was some external and internal things that happened, and I think all in all it was a very progressive year for us.
So kind of looking now into the crystal ball, so to speak, take a look ahead. What you're hoping for as we head to 2014? Well,
it's a continuation of some of those things. I think as we look at 2014, the focus will continue to be on better service for our citizens, more efficient use of resources that we have, and addressing quality of life issues. And when we talk about quality of life, it's things like the Bombers and downtown. How can we make our community more attractive, continue to draw people to town to visit, to live in the future? Economic development is a big impact for us. The potential of a new housing project at the St. Joseph's Hospital is something in 2014 that we want to really take full advantage of. And of course, we've had discussion, the Stellar Community Program that's part of the state's OKRA administrates. We'll be looking at ways that Huntingburg can make an impact and do some planning for the potential application for a Stellar grant in 2014, and really make some decisions that will have a long-term positive effect on our community.
Absolutely, Mayor. Best of luck to the city as we move into 2014.
Thank you very much.
This has been our interviews with Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz and Huntingburg's own Denny Spinner. We'll have more 18 news after the break.